Have I planted anything? Let's check it out. Maybe not yet. Oh wow, I planted baby chicks. Welcome back, guys. Today I'm gonna build an arch trellis with 2 cattle panels. Where? Between these 2 raised beds. But first, I need 2 pieces of wood for the wood boiler. So today I'm building an arch trellis with 2 16-feet cattle panels between these 2 beds, and they are 6 feet apart. Now normally raised beds are 4 feet apart, but I decided to make it 6 so I can get a nice arch over these 2 beds. Now you don't need a raised bed to build an arch trellis. You can use the T-post and you can plant them, or you can drive them into the ground and put an arch trellis between them. If you are going to do an arch trellis on the ground instead of a raised bed, then you need 2 T-posts at each end on the cattle panels. But here we're going to use 4 T-posts for 2 cattle panels. So for this project I have 2 cattle panels, 4 T-posts, a post driver, and some staples. So why do I want an arch trellis? Well, it's going to be for my vegetable garden, and I plan on planting string beans, cucumbers, squashes like the butternut squash and the acorn squash. Those are going to be the 4 main things that I'm going to plant on the arch trellises. Now cattle panels are 50 inches wide, and this is an 8-foot long bed, or 96 inches. However, I have these here, and if I measure from here to the other one, that's about 88 inches. So I'm estimating that the cattle panel is going to overlap by about 12 inches, but that's perfectly fine. So what I want to do is I want to find a midpoint there and a midpoint there for each cattle panel, and that's where I'm going to drive each T-post. And I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side and bring the cattle panels over. In my case, a halfway point is 44 inches, and between the brace and the halfway point, 22 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Now I'm going to mark my other halfway point, and I'm going to drive these about 2.5 feet into the ground, and I may do 3, but let me do my first one. I'll let you know what's going to be best. Maybe I should get a small step ladder. There we go, guys. So I drove them 2.5 feet into the ground, and yeah, I do have to mention this is the first time I ever used a T-post or a post driver. Not bad for government work, right? Now I'm gonna do the other side. Alright guys, so there they are. All 4 are in place. Now that one I had to take it out and put it back in because it was tilting back too much, and the ground there is very soft, and I drove it down maybe 4 or 5 inches too low, but that's perfectly fine. That's okay. All right guys, here's the first one. I had my wife help me and set it, and notice the staples. I put a few staples at the bottom, but they're kind of flimsy, so I'm going to use poultry staples instead. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use cable ties to tie the cattle panel to the T-post. Gonna trim it. My poultry staples, I think they're gonna be better than what I have now. This is what I mean. See that? Just a couple to hold them in place. All right guys, so I am completely done with this trellis. Now this is just one or two. I'm doing another one here in a few seconds. But what I did is, obviously I inserted one in between the post and the wood here, and the other one as well. Now let me point something out to you. These 1/4 inch staples, I'm not a fan of them anymore. So what I did is I used a couple of poultry netting staples instead. Now I use 3/4, but next time if I have to do this again, I'll buy the 1 inch poultry staples, and they're dirt cheap. They're like a couple of dollars for a box of 100 or so. But these, now these blue ones, I'm not going to use anymore. These are coax cable staples, too flimsy. And I use cable ties there, and you can use 3, 4. You can add as many as you want, but it is stable. And I raised it about 1 foot from the ground, and that'll give me more space on top. Check it out guys. See, I like this nice shape to it. So yeah, that's my wife up there pointing at me from her window. So yeah, I'm very happy. This is the first time I do something like this. I learned how to do this from other YouTubers, so if you've ever done this and I just happened to watch your video, thank you. And it is very easy, and I suspect this will be here for years and years to come. Now what I want to do is I want to grow squash and a bunch of other stuff like I mentioned earlier, and now I can start filling in these beds by next week. Yeah. So but before I get too excited, I have to finish it, and I have to do the very next one. All right guys, so this is the last panel right there, and I'm gonna try to do it myself, not with my wife this time. And yeah, it should be simple. If there is a will, there is a way, right? Yeah, I don't think I need any help. I'm gonna do it myself because I can, and if I can, I'm just gonna do it. But you guys, some of you want an update on the baby chicks. I brought them out just a minute ago. Check them out. These little monsters are getting bigger and bigger. All of them have little tails. Yeah, what a difference from like 2 weeks ago. They were just little super baby chicks. They were tiny like a little mouse, and now they're like 4 times the size. These grow quick. Oh, and by the way, they're all egg layers. Okay. Isobrowns, black Australorps, golden laced Wyandotte, and Barnevelders. Now I'm only going to keep them here for about an hour. It's not too cold. It's about 52 degrees right now, but I think they'll enjoy coming out and getting a little bit of sun every now and then. So as I finish the trellis, they're going to be digging around, and I brought them a little bit of water. They just ate, so they'll be good. digging for whatever it is that they're digging around here. Look at that tail. Isn't that pretty? Wow, they grew quick. Oh, and by the way, here's El Guapo. There's my little rooster. So there it is, guys. I am done, complete. Looks very nice. And it's ready to support lots of vegetables. All right, guys, so the build took about maybe an hour and a half total. So let me tell you how much all of this cost. I bought 4 6.5 feet T-posts. Now you don't have to get them 6.5 like I did. You can get them 6 feet. That'll be perfect as well. And each T-post was $5.89 times 4 is $23.56. I also got the post driver at $2.99, and the cattle panels, I got 2 cattle panels at $32.99 a piece times 2 is $65.98. Now the staples, I have 1/2-inch staples. I take that back, 1/4-inch staples. I now recommend a different kind of staple, probably a 1/2-inch staple or poultry netting staples, 1 inch, okay? And that was $4.89. So the total price of this build was $127.42. I mean, I think that's pretty good for something that's going to last for many, many years, and I'm going to be able to use over and over again. And it just looks beautiful. Now, if you guys want to do something like this, at least now you have a rough idea on how to go about it. Now, you don't have to build them between raised beds. They can go on the ground as well. As long as they're 6 feet apart or so, you can make them 5 feet apart or 4 feet apart. But remember, if you bring them 5 and 4 feet apart, they're going to be taller. Okay, so I prefer the 6 feet apart. And now is the time to be doing things like this, because summer is coming, and most people in the South, obviously, maybe in Jersey, people are starting to plant. I can't plant anything until mid-May here in upstate New York. So I'm just getting ready, and I'm building my beds, and I have to get topsoil, compost, and a few other things in order to start planting. As you saw from a previous video, I already have some plants inside the house. So yeah, it's been a good day, a learning experience for me. This is, by the way, the first time I do anything like this. As I become familiar with it, I'll be doing more and more and faster. So you can't be afraid of doing things like this. You have to go out and do it. Like I said earlier, if there is a will, there is a way, and you can do it all by yourself. So let me give you another update on the chicks. I don't hear them. I think they're sleeping or something. Taking a break. Oh yeah. There we go. They're just taking a break on that corner there. All right, guys, I think we're done here. I don't believe I missed anything, but if I did, I'm gonna put it on the comments below. So you guys have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Hasta mañana.
Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.